Okay guys, this is a part 2 to the grind box. We'll be doing a landing for it today. And I'm going to go ahead and start a sketch here and just rough out the side shape. And we'll make this thing 8 feet by 34 inches tall. There's a couple ways you could do this. You could also make the diagonal a sheet of plywood. I'm not sure what this one's going to work out to, but may do that later in the video. And so go ahead and name this master sketch, and that will give us our side profile. And so what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and do another sketch off the master sketch. Gonna make it 15-30 seconds offset so that we can get our plywood thickness, and we'll rough out our a sectional profile of the plywood. And we'll turn off that master sketch so I can see what I'm doing here. And there's oops, I need to go back and undo that. Trim that the right way. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm getting a side profile of the plywood with it cut correctly. You're not going to be able to make this sharp of a cut down here on the bottom, but we'll just trim it out so that it's theoretically correct. What you might want to do is make a small transition there at the bottom out of another thin piece of plywood. Some people use sheet metal, skate light. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can use. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get our extrude done here. And extrude this out at 4 feet. And we'll do a mid-plane. And let's see here. Go ahead and we will set the material. Pine's gonna work. I know it's not Doug fir, but you know, it'll work. It'll at least give us the right texture. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the framing for the landing portion. So I'll go ahead and start a sketch on the bottom here and get this drawn out. One of the things we're going to need to do is go back to the master sketch and draw in the height of the 2x4s, because that's going to give me where my sketch, where that overall exterior frame starts and stops, and it'll kind of make sense to you when we get this sketch done here. But that overall 3.5 inches is going to give me where where the other sketch needs to be positioned as far as the front and back of it, or top or bottom, whatever you want to call it. So set these two equal here, and we'll add a coincident relation. Oh, Pierce. And we'll do the same thing down here. Add another Pierce relationship. Then we'll go ahead and do the weldments around the outside there. Pick that sketch. I'm going to have to change the profile. Probably going to have to go in and do, let's see here. Gotta fix that one. We want the top and bottom boards to be inside. That way all the intermediate boards are also going to be the same length. Change that one. And then when we do our pattern, we won't have a couple different cut lists. So let's see here. So what we're going to do is offset that exterior profile. We'll offset it in 15-30 seconds. Keep that at 3.5. Gonna need to fix that one as well. And there's our exterior framing. So we'll go ahead and get these patterned out and get our intermediates. We'll put them at an 8-inch spacing. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need. Oh, one too many. And so there are the intermediates, the same length as the top and bottom pieces. We'll go ahead and get the sketch done for the rest of the side frame. And we'll convert that edge. We'll go ahead and draw a vertical line, and then the bottom, set that horizontal. And we'll get the weldment going here. Pick the sketch. Probably going to need to adjust the profile. And that looks pretty good. Change that so that goes through. Part of the reason I'm changing that is because when you drag these ramps around, you're not going to want end grain to split off. So that one's good. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get the side, that vertical patterned out. And there's a couple ways we could do this. I'm just going to hack and slash, just get it done. And so we'll pick that line, pattern it out. Looks like we got too many. Nope. Probably going to need to take one of those out, but I'll go ahead and trim them first. So we'll pick the bodies to be trimmed. And again, there's two different ways to trim these. You can use bodies or surfaces. I'm going to go ahead and use bodies. And we'll discard all those top pieces. Probably could have done surfaces and then I wouldn't have had to deal with these pieces, but it's okay. We'll just get them done here. And that the reason I didn't trim that last one is it's one too many. So why is that profile sitting there? What is the deal there? Yeah, so we'll go back. What's funny about SolidWorks is the number's right there at the end of the 8, but you can't see it. So I know it's there. Click on it. We'll hit 9. Get rid of that one piece on the end there that's too small to nail into. And I'm going to switch this pattern around because I want to change that top piece. That top board I'm patterning off of, I'm actually going to rotate that around. So we'll switch directions. I'm going to rotate it around so that I can screw directly into it from either the grind box or from underneath this deck here. I could even put clips on it and make it so that they clip together. You know, you lift it up over a female male clip. And so I'll just be lazy and delete that body and do a sketch off the face here, convert that edge, that bottom edge there, to get my weldment length. And I'm going to need to trim it. But back to what I was saying, we'll make that vertical or straight up and down so that there's not a bunch of extra fill in with some other studs and trying to cut them funny. So we'll go ahead and get that piece in there, rotate it 90, fix the profile here. And I'm going to trim that twice, obviously, because it sticks into the plywood and it also is too long. So we'll get that done, and then we'll go ahead and get it trimmed. And I picked those bodies, but now I'm going to go back and pick the faces because I'm afraid it was going to leave a little piece on top. So let's see, what are we going to do now? Oh, got to trim the top still, it's sticking into the plywood. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll pick that underside face. And now I've got a problem where the framing was right out at the edge, and I want to put sides on this thing. So I'm going to go back into the sketch here, and I'm going to bring those sides in ½ inch. Even though the plywood's 15/32, that'll give me a tiny bit of overhang for the landing. Probably, I mean, with how rough framing is, it's going to be nearly exact. I doubt anybody's going to hold a 32nd. So, but you know, there's no fudging in SolidWorks. Everything's exact. So we'll go ahead and hold those ½ inch in for a nice round number. I'm also going to bring that to the front edge because at first I thought I was going to put plywood on the front face. I'm not going to. There's really no need to unless you were going to use it as some sort of launch ramp, but even then I'm not sure I would. So we'll go ahead and move that so that you can see here that it brought that framing forward. And then we'll go ahead and get our side piece on. So we'll sketch on that face right there. Get it sketched in our side plywood. And we'll make that coincident. And we'll extrude that out 15/32. We got our side done. We'll go ahead and mirror that over. And I was hoping I could pick the structural member folder, but I don't think it's going to let me. I think I have to pick the bodies. It'd be nice if you could just pick that as a feature, but I don't think it's going to let me. So grab the bodies. Won't take too long. And we'll hide that. Everything looks pretty good. I don't see anything else I'm going to change. I don't think. Alrighty. So we'll go ahead and name this probably grind box landing. If I could type. And I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I think I'll go ahead and put this in an assembly. I don't think I have an assembly made yet. So I'll go ahead and put the box itself and this landing into an assembly. We'll get that closed. Should have the grind box open behind it. Yep. And we'll go ahead and put that in an assembly. And let's see here. I have a template that's 1/16. A lot of times when I'm working in feet and inches, I have to change the template over. I should probably make another one, but we'll go ahead and hit OK and get that placed at the origin. And then we'll add in the landing to the assembly. There it is. And we'll start to mate this thing up here. We'll get it just kind of off to the side. And we'll mate that face to that face. And let's see, the bottom I think next. And so we get that face to that face. And I don't think they share the same mid plane, so I think I'm gonna have to use these two edges here. And that should just about do it. There's a little overlap, sticks up a little high, not too worried about it. Oh, so what I'm looking at here is the reason I hold that lumber up, that's those side pieces, is because they'll drag and they'll wick water. So I'm going to go back here real quick and I'm going to trim up those side pieces. I better name this first. So we'll just name this grind box assembly. And then I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to trim up the sides. Because if you don't hold, plywood tends to wick water and I don't know, it doesn't last as long as the lumber itself. So I'm going to pull that edge up just a 1/2 inch. Probably need to set that horizontal. And we'll pull that up, get the dimension on there. And we'll make that coincident with that side piece there, or that edge. And the save, and I think we're nearly done. We need to resave the assembly here. I don't see anything that bothers me. And I think we're probably good. Hope this helps you guys. We'll be doing the lip next. Thanks for watching.